Alrighty, so here it is, 11 a.m. ish, day 2 of this particular little project we're entitling Dryland Broadacre. It's about a 2,000 square meter section here, right beside us, and it's dry. One of the things the old fella, he's 83, said, "Oh, no one, we can't rent this. No one, there's no water. It's dry. The weeds." The wife's famous quote was, Erica asked her how things were or something to that effect, and she says, "Well, the land is dry and the weeds are growing." So we released this at about this time 48 hours ago. We talked to the old fella, and we hemmed and hawed. I had some seed potatoes left over, and I knew I could buy more. And one of the other factors that led us to do this was the fact that our manure source right now is just mountains and mountains of hay, straw. He bought a lot of red clover hay, and hard to feed it to horses unless it's just perfect. You can't store it outside, it spoils. So there's a lot of hay. I got enough to do 500 square meters easy at Kenderford I need right away to get done. And there's still more. So I thought, you know what, we'll get this. And so around this time yesterday, we went and paid the lease. And we started planting potatoes. We just planted in here 3 rows of potatoes. Seed potatoes, no more of these buying silly roadside potatoes and trying to grow them. Plant seed potatoes, but we'll get seed potatoes. We're not looking to eat the potatoes or sell the potatoes for eating. We're going to have, hopefully, the mathematics will work out in our favor. That these 3 widely spaced rows, they were 1.2 meters apart. I spaced them. Could go a lot thicker than that, you know. But we might be able to get enough potatoes off this, basically 3-4 meters of this 20 meter wide property to have enough potato seed for next spring. And we're just kind of working on the process that, we got the lease for 6 months, but we're going to just keep, they know he's 83, 84 years old. He knows he's never going to use the land again. His son wants to do something with it, but he's busy at other things and blah, 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 blah. They won't commit to actually giving us, I asked for a 5-year lease, right, obviously. So last night we knew we had a little bit of rain. We just took the hoe and smashed a little hole. I kind of pulled it up and Erica threw it in down, you know, and it was wet. There was moisture there, maybe 4 inches down. We've had rain all night and it just stopped. That's why I'm starting this video, because the sun, you know, was overcast and just raining, a little drizzle, not really raining, but you know, there was no evaporation going on. And then just up on this load of mulch, clearly we've hit the point where evaporation is over rainfall. And already, I wish I had taken pictures, it's already starting to dry out. Sun's only been shining for 20 minutes. And it's already starting to dry out. In 24 hours of no rain, this will look as bad as when we talked to the guy in the first place. A dry, barren desert. So here's a little bit that I got down yesterday before we left. We'll just periodically do updates. I mean, we can't expect one little half-inch rain to save the world. We think we can get a crop out of the little bit of moisture there. We might not be able to save any moisture, rain events that happen over the summer, but the little bit that was down there, 4 inches, we think we can live off that and get at least some sort of a decent return on our seeds and move on from there. So that's this project, a little short explanation. And we thought, you know, we'd plant 2 rows of potatoes, and then 1 roll of garlic, 2 rows of potatoes, 1 roll of garlic. Throw in, I threw in some, so, you know, this area here, like I say, we'll update you with photos. You know, I did want to say, you know, look at, the old man has a beautiful garden here. You can't fault the guy. You know, he's 83 years old. There's plenty of people that age couldn't feed themselves pablum with a spoon. He grows his own food. His wife cooks it, they store it, they can't cook it, they, whatever, you know what I'm saying? He has a beautiful garden, it looks beautiful. It looked better an hour ago. The beautiful black dirt it looked like, but the sun comes out and it dries out and it just turns to dust. Beautiful garden. But it just stopped raining 20 minutes ago. Right? He's got his taters, onions, peas, it looks like there. More taters, corn for his chickens, squash there, beautiful big squash, more corn for the chickens. You know, you can't fault an old guy for doing that. It just would be a lot easier for him if he threw that rototiller away. Oh, to make an explanation, yes, a little. So we started here about 3 years ago. We didn't do anything a lot of stuff. We didn't really start a lot until last fall. But we're here. We had the guy mulch this. This was a forest. You know the story. I hope. Well, maybe you don't. But you know, and then we went away for 6 months basically and just let it regrow, and then we chopped it down again. So, but we were here about this time, May of 2012, so 3 years ago, and there was corn, a little bit of corn stubble in it, you know, and it had been plowed in the fall, and then he plowed it again in the spring. He grew corn here that summer, and then plowed it again that fall, and then it was fallow for 2 years, and over the course of that, I say 3 times, but actually with that fall plowing, it was 4 times. So in the 2 years that it's been laying fallow, it was plowed 4 times, so it just knocked her back to, you know, stage 1 of stage 0 of succession. And they just did this about 2 weeks ago, plowed this. So just, you know, they haven't accomplished anything by letting the land rest. We'll do a little, you know, this will just come up to spring up. Actually, you know, the weeds can't even come, hardly. They have a hard time getting started. Like, it's below ground 0. They've, you know, bomb it right down to before stage 0, ground 0. Just no biology can live at all, survive in a dust bowl, and that's what we're creating. We've got all kinds of rainfall here. I mean, conceivably, this could be the last rain we see for a week. Could be the last rain theoretically. Could be the last rain we have in a month. Could be the last rain we have in the year. We don't know. You couldn't grow a crop here without the mulch. You can grow a crop, but what kind of a return are you going to get? Now the old man, again, go back to his beautiful garden. You know, the ground is bare. It's dry. He's able to plant stuff a month and a half before I am. You know, when it does rain and the sun isn't so hot and the days aren't so long and all that, so he's able to get a garden. Beautiful garden. Look at those onions. It's a great job. Great onions. But in a month it'll be a wasteland. So we'll try to do, you know, we'll just feel them out, see how much chance we have of getting it next year and the next year, and we'll just kind of keep our finger in the pie, as it were, or foot in the door. Throw some mustard or something in the fall. I wouldn't, no sense trying to get a cover crop in this dust bowl. Get something happening in this fall. Maybe even get fall rye going happening. Get some vetch and fall rye here. I don't have a way to harvest stuff yet, other than by hand. So we'll see. That's just a little breakdown on that. It's about half done the mulching here. And I'll finish in. This is kind of a no man's land. I built these piles I built it exactly where he kind of, you know, he wasn't using, where he stopped using. But you see that the furrow with a plow, you have to lose a meter and a half or so, right? You can't plow right up to the property line. So I built right up to where he stopped plowing. But he needs his meter and a half to run his silly tractor and the plow, right? So the property, so I was in the process of pulling this back, and was gonna just cut this grass at the edge and whatever and deal with it. So now we'll just mulch it and stuff. But right now we want to get the mulch on the ground that's been planted, and we'll deal with that other later. So that's a bonus in itself. Even this is going to make things better here over time if we can just continue to work the land. We kind of have to kitty corner across his lot to get to our other property there, and they have a wonderful outhouse facility here that we use. So the amount we paid in rent is worth it. Just consider that, or just the fact somebody actually might rent it, and they spray. The old man even sprays his pathway. He's out here. He sprayed his pathway with herbicide to kill the weeds, to walk up and down and dry. He pushes his rototiller and whatever. He goes around his fence lines. He sprays herbicides, and they spray their trees with insecticides and whatever. So at least we have a buffer zone, if nothing else. But we're gonna, like I said, a new set of problems, and a new set of will result in a new set of solutions. I don't have to, this is nice. I don't have to fight with working around fruit trees, and I don't have to fight tree roots. Like Kenderford, I could do the same amount. Just take this straw instead of putting it here and put it on there and plant potatoes. But then you try to dig them, you got to dig through tree root. It'd just be a mess. So do it here. Why not do it here? Makes sense to me. Anyway, we should just do a panorama of the vista. Beautiful grapes. He spends a lot of time hoeing away in his grapes. They have a beautiful patch of raspberry, the most beautiful patch of raspberries I've ever seen, between this house that's empty and the summer kitchen of the house they live in. There is the most beautiful patch of raspberries there you've ever seen. They're raspberries big as your thumb, big as there. He loves his grapes. He loves pruning and hoeing and fiddling around with his grapes. He has a great little garden going there and the whole deal. There's some plums at the back. This area is always this area I love to just. Now we can just kind of mulch this like I wanted to, and not have this weedy, grassy area right by my garden. Just continuously sort of sappers are being sent into our garden. We can just mulch this area of 3 plums here. It's a good thing, a very good thing, I think. Here's our some of our taters, common taters. Couldn't plant really anything else here. There was a thick leaf mulch I had. They did pretty good, I would say. Come up through that. We'll get the chickens in here this fall, and I'll even bring some more leaves. They'll chew this to pieces. It'll be beautiful next year. But again, it's shady, it's late, it's a little bit later. I planted my taters about the same time as he did his, so I really don't feel I did too bad for in shade. This was a variety we got from a guy, which I would consider a seed potato. And then I got 2 commercial, a red and a purple, or a red and a white, whatever you want to call it, potato. They didn't seem to do as well. The garlic's doing well. The beets are doing well. Lots of stuff's doing well. But it is a slower start to the season. Should have planted this first. This is a nice, fairly dry up. Not dry up. It doesn't dry up. This stuff doesn't dry up. It's wet, soaking wet. Our soil. But it gets the heat more than in the shade. But anyway, that's fine. We're just experimenting. Here's our acorn squash for transplant. It's a little bit built for trees, bushes, all out of them and stuff. But I thought I'd get some squash transplant action out of it before we We planted those. Anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.